Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakudah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Nero's and Trump's Hatred for the Jews and Christians. When I say Jews and Christians, I mean the real Jews, the tribe of Judah, or the kingdom of Judah, which was left in Palestine, the Middle East, the Levant, and the other tribes were, pursuant to prophecy, was sent over here by ships to the Americas, Canada, the U.S., Central and South America. So there was 10 tribes. Dan was a part of that. Now, we don't know what happened with Dan. Dan had to be mingled among the other tribes. We can only speculate on that. And I say that because Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he did not mention the tribe of Dan in Revelation chapter 7. So when you go into the history books and you read about the Jews and the Christians, it's talking about Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and a few of the tribes that stayed with Judah, Yahweh. And Christians are not, it's not a religion that you born at, I was born a Christian. A Christian is an Israelite, a Judite, Yahweh, that accepted the Messiah. He's a fulfillment, as the Old Testament speaks about the Messiah. These were Israelites that accepted the Messiah 2,000 years ago. They said, yes, we believe that he's the Messiah, which was prophesied to come, as opposed to the Jews, which didn't believe. So you see what Trump is doing, man. And we said this months back. We came up against the Latin tribes, Issachar, the Venezuelans, and he'd grab any Latin tribe. He don't care what they are, and because he said they're all illegal. So he's putting them in cages, alligator, Alcatraz, which you got 80% plus percent of the people. There's mysterious sickness going on. What else? I believe he's not even feeding them right, letting them starve. He has a deep, dark hatred. Hey, hey, if you want to personify Revelation 13, verse 11, we say that that's talking about Babylon the Great, America, but you can when I say personify, mean it, put it into a person. That's him. That's him. You can even call him the Antichrist now. And you notice when Barack Obama became president, Edomites started calling him, the Bible Belt Edomites started calling him he got to be the Antichrist. Well, Trump, nobody's calling him the Antichrist. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask the question. Is he the Antichrist? Well, we know the Antichrist, there's no such thing as one Antichrist. But if you want to put it into one body, you can say, yeah, that's Trump. I ain't gonna say that. Okay, let me see. Right, so this here says police state Trump's takeover of D.C. angers residents. Police state Trump's takeover of D.C. angers residents. Trump puts D.C. police under federal control. This is what I call a police state. Now, chat, and I even went to Google. Let me see something. Let me do this again. I spelled this wrong. Is DC under a police state? Now watch him say no. No! Washington, D.C. is not under a police state, though recent actions by the president have raised concerns about federal control of local law, or law enforcement, excuse me. While President Trump has placed the D.C. police under federal control for a limited time, well, limited time could be 20 years compared to forever, right? And deployed the National Guard, this is a temporary measure and does not signify a permanent shift to a police state. But currently, is this a police state according to the definition? Yes. But they're saying, oh, it's temporary. It's limited. So it's not really a police state. Let me do this here. No, you can't say it's a police state. He hates Israelites. He hates the Israelites. There's a topic right there. Police state. 7 times you come across the word police state. American community media, the taking of Watch DC, prelude to a police state. Trump takes over DC police in an extraordinary move. CNN, Trump deploys the National Guard and declares federal. Got to open that up 3 days ago. The city's status as a district. Now the state allows the president and in turn the federal government more leeway in directing troops. Yeah, because this is the District of Columbia is just that. It's the DC is just that. White House claim of DC police. Chief power but capital. 10 hours ago, Washington Mayor Merrill Bozer wrote on social media that there is no statute that conveys this district personal authority to a federal, which I'm not going to open it up. DC is not under any state. There's a combination of 3 states: Maryland, Virginia, and what's the other one? Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, I believe. No, DC is not a part of any state. It is a federal district specifically created by the U.S. Constitution to serve as the nation's capital. The Constitution mandates that capital be separate from any state and under the jurisdiction of the federal government. Yeah, Delaware. I'm sorry. It's Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. 10 square miles. Let me do this. The police state meaning: a totalitarian state controlled by a political police force that secretly supervises the citizens' activity. Well, they were going through neighborhoods, and there was a couple of Jakes sitting down in front of their houses. The guy was smoking a Newport. That's the choice of Jake, that cigarette, Newport. And the cop said, "Oh, you ain't supposed to be smoking cigarettes in public." Can you smoke cigarettes in public in D.C.? Okay, he was on the patio. No smoking on the patio. In Washington, D.C., smoking is prohibited in most public places and workplaces due to the Department of Health. Well, you can't smoke inside because your kids will smell the smoke. This includes indoor areas of restaurants, bars, which I'm glad about that, and retail stores, as well as government buildings, schools, healthcare facilities, while some outdoor areas, like certain tobacco bars, may have exemptions. Smoking is generally not permitted in the public areas to protect against secondhand smoke. But you can do it in your house when you got kids. You might have your grandmother that's on a ventilator. And this is that's why you think the Most High referred to this place or calls this place Babylon. Babylon just means confusion. So the cop said, he looking for that's what they do. They look for a crime. You have an outlight. They really don't care about the outlight. They want to, when they pull you over about the outlight, they want to check. They want to ask you step out the car. Let me check the car. That's violation of the Fourth Amendment right. You can't just say, well, let me go into your car, which is your personal effect, and check you. That's why, hey, you get pulled over, you give them your license, registration, insurance papers, right? And then you might say, is there a problem, officer? And he might say, if he thinks you cool, he checks you out, your license is good. Most of the time, or a certain number of time, Jake has a suspended license, might not have insurance, and insurance lapse. So that leads to you getting your motherfucking car taken away. Every time I get pulled over by mainly Edomite, it's mostly Edomites, I don't ever have trouble with them. I argue with certain Edomite cops. I'll have my voice will get up, and they don't beat the shit out of me and nothing like that. Because when I'm arguing with them, I refer to him as, I said, but officer, wait a minute, officer, wait. If I say officer, that's respecting his official capacity, and then he says, sir, sir, sir. And I say, well, we'll see who's going to win in court. Okay, sir, we'll see who's going to win in court. You have a nice day, officer. I did that many a times. I told him, look, you wasting your time. You wasting paperwork. I'm going to beat this in court. Watch. Watch what I'm going to do, officer. I'm going to beat this in court. And wound up beating it in court. Because I used to go to the court and I'd bring out the law and challenge him on the law like an actual lawyer. And the cop be looking at the judge like, what do I say? Because he don't know what the hell to say. I did that to one jurisdiction. The guy pulled me over for playing loud music. And I couldn't find the law in a law library. I went to a particular actual law library. And I couldn't find it. And I went into their jurisdiction. They had their own ordinances. So I looked it up, the law that he charged me with, and it says no playing loud radio music. I believe it was between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. It was like 1 p.m. So what they do is they'll give you the ticket, And when I found out about it, I put that as a application for throwing it out, dismissing it, right? Under the people are not ready. So when I put it out with about 20 other applications for dismissal, the judge denied all of them. Then I even put in, this law only applies between 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. I was summoned at about 1:30 p.m. And I would put the law in. And you know, that judge said, no, I'm denying that. So I said, okay, I knew this is bullshit. I said, because you could have picked one of 20 reasons to throw. Oh, I said this. He tried to make me plea, and the judge pleaded in my behalf. And I said, for the record, I object to you pleading in my behalf. And one of the what do you call it? The motions for dismissal is you cannot a person cannot plea unless he's sound in the mind. So, and that's any court. And they don't do that. The first thing they got to do, they got to send you a psychiatrist to see if maybe you're crazy, maybe your mind is not right. You committed that. You went through that red light because you're crazy, right? So they really got to go through the procedure and having a psychiatrist talk to you. So I put that in and he threw that out. And then they came to the conclusion that you're guilty. I said, it was a $50 fine. I paid it. But you know what? I made the judge look stupid. When every time I went to court, it would be a packed court. I come in there late. Every time I was supposed to, I come in there late. The court would be packed. I'll come in there and everybody, the judge, the prosecuting attorney, the cop, they would all stop and look, and they would say, "Good morning, sir," because they were waiting for me. So when he said you, in other words, I lost but I won. So I said I'd give you the $50 because I had a little fun. Then I even put in a federal lawsuit against them, and they actually went out and hired a law firm against me. You know how much money they lost? They lost a couple $1,000s just to get $50. That's to show you how these devils operate. He said, "Man, you ain't gonna make me look bad in this court." This is the judge, judge thinking. In order for you to hire a team of an attorney, there was a bunch of attorneys with the suits on and everything, because I threatened them with a federal lawsuit. So I'm looking. I said, you want to get down like this, huh?" And somehow he dismissed it. He said, we don't need you right now." He had to pay that fucking bill. The city, whatever, had to pay. That jurisdiction had to pay that bill. That bill was probably like $5,000. You dummy. But guess what? You got $50 out of my ass. And I gave it to you with a smile on my face. Here's your $50. You know you lost, bitch. You lost, bitch. Yeah, we used to get into that law. Them judges used to get one judge says, to be honest, I was hitting with the UCC, and he said, "To be honest with you, sir, I'm not schooled in the UCC." And he wound up throwing the case out. It was a state trooper. Please forgive me bear with me in my folly. What Paul said. It was a state trooper, and I told the state trooper that I'm going to beat this man. I said, first of all, you're not even the issuing officer. It was like an Edomite that gave me the ticket. It was a Jake that represented something brown. And I said, first of all, you're not the one that, he said it doesn't. I said, yes, it does. Because that would be considered hearsay. And I said, watch this. I said, I'm gonna walk out of this court not being guilty. They're gonna throw it out. This nigga trooper, he started crying. The nigga started crying, man. Not boo-hooing, but like he got offended. So I had a smile on my face. I went to the judge. It was the Edomite judge, and I threw up UCC, and he said, to be honest, I'm not equipped to go into these laws. To be honest, I don't know. Then I said I hit him with a basic dismissal because they was supposed to give me a supporting dep. I said, and I showed the cop, and I had the law book with me. I had the criminal procedure law. I said, what does that say? I said, this guy never gave me a supporting dep. The judge gonna throw this motherfucker out. Sure enough, instead of the judge throwing it out, he said, you gotta give me the paperwork, because he figured I don't know how to do the paper. I said, okay, Your Honor. I went home, typed it up, sent it in, didn't even go back to court, and then he sent me a letter. Your case is dismissed, sir. You have a nice day. This is when we used to get down with them. This whole system is corrupt. Once you know their laws, they move the proverbial, what do you call that? In football, they move the goalposts. This is because people don't know the law. People don't know the law. Everybody in this country was supposed to be a lawyer. Anyway, forgive me for that whole rant. But now they're gonna fuck with Jake because Jake don't know the law. That's where the Moors should come in. Those grimy ass Moors. Them niggas is all about money. I work with the Moors. Them niggas got anything they give you, they want money out that shit. They want money out of you, man. Not all of them. But if they were really about something, them Moors would go down to D.C. and they would pull Jake and then show him how to deal with the laws. Show him what they can do and what they can't do. So anyway, I'm sorry. So what they're doing now is what they did in the Roman Empire. This is reincarnation. Which, I almost forgot. We got to go back to, where is it? Maybe I got to find it again. Yeah, I think I got to find it again. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I believe this is it. Give me a second. So I may go back into this. I did half of it. These guys from the GOCC, false reincarnation doctrine against the gospel. False reincarnation doctrine. He was part of One West. He tells you in this video that he's part of One West. One West, they taught reincarnation and they proved reincarnation. When he did his own thing, he said, nah, reincarnation is not biblical. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not dealing with him at all. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not dealing with the GOCC at all. Another thing that they teach, like the scriptures say, they shall wax worse and worse. I'm merely paraphrasing. They've been teaching that there's an actual hell. Which that was a controversy back at One West, where Yeshaya, Gazak didn't bring it up, but Gazak was behind it too. One of the two of the high priests, the seven. Yeshaya used to bring that up. Every couple of years he used to sneak that in there. And Ariel would cut him down. Mo and Ariel would cut him down. Then he waited another 2-3 years. Then he'll try to sneak it in there. And what ultimately happened, he left. He's no longer doing. He's not on the highways and the byways. He's not doing videos. I'm talking about him and Kazak. The Lahab, High Priest Lahab. He has a video. I think he put up his YouTube page in 2009. And we attacked him too on his. He cut off the comments, no this. And he teaches that Edomites and other nations can make it if they believe in the Messiah. And I even, to confirm it, I ran into him and I asked him face to face. It was a gas station. I asked him face to face. I said, I heard you be teaching that Edomites and other nations could make it if they. Yeah, of course they could. And I told him you were wrong. I said, look, you wrong, man. I said, you wrong. I said, that's not in the scriptures. Then the guy gonna call me wicked. So these guys that were this, and all you ass kisses that was back there, because you had multiple ass kisses back there in One West. And all of them guys fell out. All them niggas, all them thousands upon thousands of niggas that came to them women, them whole ass women, And them niggas, them whole ass men, all them niggas, all them gremlins that came through, they went right back into the world. A lot of them are dead. A lot of them, the rest of them are gonna take that chip if they stay alive long enough, and then they're gonna eat a missile. And this man full of pride. The Most High, and that's why Elder Gabar left him. Elder Gabar is the Latin-looking brother. He's a Simeonite. He has his own page, and he's sincere. He's sincere. If I said anything negative about him, I ask for forgiveness. He's sincere, and ultimately he left, and they were trying to keep him, and he's like, nah. He said this is not the right way to go. You know. If I showed you a picture of him, I'm not gonna look for one. You'll see what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Anyway, please forgive me. I'm gonna get back. This is I listen to her, Sabby Sabs. She gonna be one of my wives in the kingdom. Definitely. Anyway, let me see if I can find this. Okay, let me see if I can. No, that's not it. Is that it? Let me try it this way. I'm sorry. Going their own way. I doubt it. Is it Christians? Let me try it this way. But I'm part of the page, YouTube page is going their own way. Elder Gabar. Let's see if it comes up this way. Okay, I found him. Okay, so I believe he changed the name of the... Okay, this is the brother. Elder Gabar. Give me a second. Let me do this. I'm sorry. Let me bring this back. I'm sorry. Let me bring this back. Okay, let me do it this way. Please forgive me, y'all. Let me go to videos. Okay, so this has to be, he had another name. Let me try this, y'all. Let me try this. Please bear with me. Wait till it. I'm gonna get back into the main subject.
And we see where the sons of God literally came down to earth. They came from Mars, according to this text.
Starfire Gold liquid supplement that he created.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is crap. Let me just try it this way. Elder Gabar. Podcast. Please forgive me, y'all. I'm sorry. Trying to get his main page here. Okay, this is it right here. I believe the I's got to be stand for Israel. Let me try this. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. So this is what happened to the brother, the Simeonite brother. Israelite teachers going well, it's not going to tell me what the hell it means. Let me do it. Let me do this. Okay. Okay, so invitation to God's wedding feast. Okay, so I guess he changed the name. Let me see. Sorry about that, y'all. Let me get back into the main subject. But you know what I'm going to do? Let me subscribe to him. Sorry, y'all.
Okay, so this is just a quick video I'm doing just to show
Okay, I believe this is another
previously,
different...
but I just, I've been doing other things.
Anyway, if somebody can find it, let me know. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. So let's do this here. This is from GMS Hawaii Bar. and this was put up 3 hours ago, Donald J. Trump about to get down and dirty on Jake. Come over here. Why? Because he's Nero. Nero's hatred for the Jews and Christians, Nero's action toward Jews and Christians were driven by a combination of political expediency. Because the elite told him, we got to get rid of these Israelites, because they're going to take us over. The elite knows that. They don't tell you that in the news. Religious intolerance, they can't stand. Because they're not going after religions. They're not going after Christians. They're going after Israel. They're going after Israelites, but they're going after Jake that are not woken up to the fact that they're Israelites. And they're trying to upset the prophecy. They don't want Ephraim and Judah to come together. And personal motivations, he just has a personal hatred for him because he did in the past when he was Nero. That's definitely Nero. He initially blamed Christians. Who are the Christians? The Israelites that believed in the Messiah. So we're technically Christians. For the great fire of Rome in 64 AD, which scholars will say he didn't do it. He did it while playing a lyre, which is a fiddle, leading to brutal persecution. While evidence suggests Nero's hatred was primarily directed at Christians, Christians is code for Israelites that believe in the Most High, like One Westers or former One Westers. He also faced resistance from Jewish or Israelites that didn't believe in the Messiah populations in Yahudiah, which culminated in a revolt during his reign. Let me do this. Revolt. Let me just take the word revolt. Revolt. Okay. Jews revolt. Against Nero. Jews revolt against Nero. The first Jewish revolt against Rome, which began in 66 CE, or Christian era. 66 CE, that was Nero was in power. He was the emperor at that time. He committed suicide, I believe it was 68. And that's when you had the year of the 4 emperors, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian. So Galba, Otho, Vitellius were all put to death. I'm not going to give you the backstory. And the one that emerged was Vespasian, which he was behind it. Scholars argue that. It says was a response to years of Roman oppression and growing resentment. Nero had a deep, dark hatred for the Israelites, mainly the Christians. These people, these Edomites and Jake that call themselves Christians, they're not real Christians. In order for you to qualify to being a Christian, you have to be an Israelite first. They don't understand that. And vocabulary say, see, these Israelites, they make salvation an ethnic thing. You got to be, of course they did. That's why the Lord said, go not to the Gentiles and into any of the Samaritans unto ye not, but go rather to the Lord should be the house of Israel. That's racist. The revolt was sparked by a series of incidents including clashes between Jews and Roman-backed Greeks, because the Greeks and the Rome, they were working together. They were also called Greco-Romans, right? You had a lot of Romans that spoke Greek. It said the clashes between Jews and Roman-backed Greeks and the actions of Roman procurator Jessius Florus, who seized funds from the temple treasury. So they didn't. Titus wasn't the only one that sacked the temple. This guy did it. So they said, "Oh, you ain't giving us the money. We're gonna go into your temple and we're gonna defile your temple and we're gonna take the." By the way, for this big blockhead Nate, oh, the only way you can give tithes to the priest is not money. Well, where you think when they went into the temple, who you think that who had control over that fucking money? The gold and so forth, the gold and the silver, and various what can I say, frankincense, myrrh. That was costing money. They went to the treasury, the temple, because you had the priests in there, because people were giving tithes in the form of, you can give tithes in the form of money, especially during the Deuteronomy 16 and 16, when they said, when you come during those 3 times, come not empty-handed. Did they bring bulls with them and cows and stuff? No. And wheat? No. What they brought with them was money. That's why you had the money changes, showing you that Nate, he wings it, man. The priest dealt with money. The high priest of them all, the chief high priest, is Melchizedek. What did Abraham do? Everything that he was rich in gold, silver, cattle, and land. And he gave 10% of all that he had. Did Abraham have gold and silver? Yes. He gave 10% of it to Melchizedek, Malak Tazadaq, which is the Messiah. That's the Messiah. Melchizedek, spoken of in Genesis, also spoken of in Hebrews chapter 7. The 7th chapter of Hebrews, the Apostle Paul dedicates that whole chapter to Melchizedek. And how do you know so much about Melchizedek? Because Melchizedek visited him as Yahweh Shai and told him, yeah, that's me right there. That was me back there. Because nobody knew whether he had a father and a mother. Yahweh Shai told the Apostle Paul, oh, by the way, Melchizedek, when I came as Melchizedek, I didn't have a father and a mother with no genealogy. And Peter didn't know that. Paul went to Peter and told him, it would have went over Peter's head. But where'd you get this information from? Remember, Yahweh Shai was dealing with the Apostle Paul directly. He was telling them things that he didn't tell the other 12. That's why the Apostle Peter made the statement that he made in Second Peter chapter 3. Started the 15th verse on down. So when you try to, how can I say, outguess what Paul said, if Paul made it right, and the people that said, nah, I don't believe that with Paul, I ain't following what Paul said, guess what? You got condemned for it, dumbass. Hey, like the mark of the beast thing, you guys that come against what we're saying concerning the mark of the beast being a microchip, if you don't change if you don't change up, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna take the chip unless you repent. Now some of them are gonna repent, others are not gonna repent. Some of them are just gonna be confused and not know where to go because they're gonna miss meals. They're gonna get kicked out of their houses, right? They shall be like madmen, sparing none. We're seeing that right now. These federal troops coming up in here, ICE. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but spoiling and destroying them that fear the Lord. All Israelites fear the Lord, whether you believe you're an Israelite or not, meaning there's certain things that you're going to do, that's in Romans chapter 2, you know it's wrong to be a mo. You know it's wrong to commit adultery. Niggas know it's wrong to deal with another man's wife. Right? You know it's wrong if you kill somebody. If you murder somebody. If you murk somebody. You know it's wrong in your spirit. Esau don't know it's wrong. I just killed the motherfucker. I didn't have nothing better else to do. I just sent me to kill him. That's how Esau thinks. Because the law is not within him. It says the revolt escalated as Israelites, especially ones that didn't believe in the Messiah, rebels, including groups like the what? The Zealots and the Sicarii. The Sicarii came out of the Zealots, attacked Roman citizens and soldiers. That's what you call the terrorist attacks, eventually leading to the expulsion of Roman forces from Jerusalem. So they pushed out the Roman forces, right? Emperor Nero dispatched General Vespasian, he wasn't the king at that time, and his son Titus to quell the rebellion. The revolt culminated in the siege and destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, because Nero had already died. He committed suicide because the people were against him. Remember when the first Trump 45? He had these Edomites, yeah, Trump this and Trump that. He didn't change too many laws. He pretty much sounded like he was cool about the sea ragamuffin. He said, nah, let the people go out. So he sounded like an acceptable guy, right? So when he came back this time, number 47, he came straight up like a tyrant. So when he was young and he became emperor, the people loved him. When he got old, the people hated him, and he committed suicide because of the hatred of the people. And he said, in Latin, of course, he said, "You're gonna lose a great artist, because this guy can never go wrong. He'll tell you, no, I'm this, I'm good at that, I'm good at baseball, I'm good at this. Everything I'm good at." It says with the Roman, he fits the persona, the same characteristics as Nero, because he is Nero. With the Roman army razing the temple or destroying the temple and causing widespread death and destruction. So he's going to escalate, and that's the time of Jacob's trouble. We're not fully in the time of Jacob's trouble. He's going to usher in the time of Jacob's trouble. Let me ask this question. Why was there gold money in the temple at Jerusalem? The gold and other precious metals in Jerusalem temple, including the gold in the holy of holies. Only one high priest can go in the holy of holies, symbolize holiness and the nation's wealth and devotion to the Most High. The temple also served as a place for receiving donations and tithes. So shut up, Nate. They received gold, and then you can't give people money. No. There was a priest. There was an old man in Judges 9 around there. You know that whole story. How they gang raped his concubine. He was hired for 10 shekels of silver a year to be a personal priest to the old man. And he accepted. He said, yeah, I'm with it. So 10 shekels equivalent today could be maybe $250,000. It says, which often included gold and silver. Let me read that again. The temple also served as a place for receiving donations, offerings, and tithes, which the word tithe mean a tenth. So the priest was getting gold and silver and precious things as their tithe. which often included gold and silver, and the temple had a treasury for storing these valuables. Money changers, right? They were manipulating the price of the shekel, the half shekel of the temple, because they said, "Oh, the people are coming in. Let's raise the price." That's why Yahushua, they were profiting off of that. That's why Yahushua went in there and whipped them and turned over tables. I may even go into that. It says, we're present to facilitate the exchange of different currencies, as certain coins were not accepted for temple offerings. So who was control of the temple? The Levitical priests. Did they not deal with silver and gold? Yes, I'm reading about it. Who the money changers were? Priests and high-ranking men in Israel. They controlled the money. Let me go here. Let me do this. The money changers in the Bible. I'll go right to it. This is in the King James Version of the Bible, the account of the Messiah driving out the money changers, which were priests and high-ranking, the ones that said they sat at Moses' seat, right? Changes from the temple are found in Matthew 21:12-13, Mark, John. These passages describe. Matter of fact, let me go to it. Let me ask this question. Let me ask it this way. Were the Levitical priests in charge of the money in the temple? Yes. Ooh. Levitical priests were indeed responsible for the handling money. Specifically, the tithes and offering collected for the temple and its services. It says including valuable items like gold and silver. So they did with money. So you going off again, Bishop Nate. Oh, they didn't deal with money. So you other camps are going off. So let me do this. Let me go to the scripture. Okay, where we at? And Yahushua went into the temple of the Most High and cast out all them, including the Holy of Holies, which was in the temple, which only the highest priest can go into. The inner court was for the priests, and then you had Israelites come in. It says that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold dove. Who sold the doves? The priests. And said unto them, it is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it into a den of thieves. What does it mean they made it into a den of thieves? Because they were robbing the people. They were raising the price of the shekel. So they were dealing with money changers. So anyway, let's get back into this. Where am I? Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to show you this here. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. So let me just play this. And now, you know, I'm gonna let this play, and I'm gonna give you some precepts. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Slow it down.
I don't like being up here talking about how unsafe and how dirty and disgusting this once beautiful capital was.
Now, what is he thinking when he said this dirty, disgusting slum? He said we're going to get rid of the slums. Those are all key words for Jake. He pushing out the homeless. Now, where is he going to take the homeless? Where's he going to put them?
With graffiti all over the walls. It's another part of it, by the way.
Graffiti, that's code for Jake.
Right? Because we're talking about safety, but we're also talking about beautification. We're the most beautiful, potentially
Beautification for the Edomites, for the elite.
Capital in the world. We always had. But people come from Iowa, they come from Indiana, they come and then they get...
Hold up, who come from Iowa and Indiana? Edomites. Jake don't be coming from Iowa. There might be some Jakes out there. But when you mention Iowa and Indiana, that's a God country, man, as they call it. That's the Bible Belt. He's talking about Edomites. If he had his way, he'd make Jake disappear and just have Edomites, you know, ruling in power.
Mugged? Not going to happen. Keep coming, because within, by the time you will come from Iowa, they come from Indiana.
He's talking about Jake, but he's not mentioning Jake, so you can't call him a racist.
Indiana, they come and then they get mugged. Not going to...
What do you think he's thinking about? He's thinking about Jake, some teenage Jakes rolling up on an Edomite couple, beating the shit out of them and taking their money.
Happen. Keep coming, because within, by the time you get your trip set, it's going to be safe again, and it's going to be clean very quickly.
Code for we're going to get rid of these niggas. He's speaking in code. This is what something that you boneheaded Jake don't understand. Esau speaks in code. You Negroes learn how to speak in code. What you doing in certain... And when we speak in code.
We're going to replace the medians that are falling down all over the roads. We're going to replace the potholes. We're going to put a nice new coat of asphalt over the top. And we're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them.
Slums, is he talking about Jake? He said, what are you going to do with the people in the slums? You're going to get rid of them, too. I'm going to put them in a concentration camp.
I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh.
I know it's not politically correct to talk about Negroes this way. This guy he's a straight up, he'll tell you I'm not a racist. He's a fucking racist. He's a racist. He's racist. He ain't kicking out the Arabs. He ain't kicking out Edomites out of here illegally.
So terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live.
Where they live. Who's he talking about? Or he could be talking about anybody. No, he's talking about Jake. He's talking about the Israelites, the 12 tribes.
Caravans of mass youth rampage through cities.
He wanted to say niggas. Mass youth, he wanted to say YNs.
Streets at all times of the day. There are ATVs, motorbikes. They travel pretty well.
Who the fuck is he describing? He's describing Jake. And that's big in Philly. They get their ATVs, their four-wheelers, and they be going down the street.
Oh, entire neighborhoods are now under emergency curfews. Just this past weekend, gunfire went through, and you saw that the Navy Yard. I saw it this morning. They saw that they fought back against. Let's see, they fight back. until you knock the hell out of them, because it's the only language they understand.
He's picturing a Negro until you knock the hell out of him. Until you knock the hell out of a nigger.
But they fought back against.
This guy's a straight up racist. But there's nothing wrong with being racist. Being racist is biblical. The Most High is a racist. He's only for one race, the Israelites.
Law enforcement last night, and they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face, and then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they get hit real hard. I don't like being...
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Ashurim Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the bishop, elders, and
let this play for a little bit, y'all,
teachers,
if you don't mind.
Sincerity, and for ruling well. Salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women that believe in fear and waiting on Yahweh Bashan Shah for salvation. This is it. I know brothers from the apostles to the bishop, elders, and the brothers.
This is it. Make no mistake anymore. The waiting is over.
I was on down, been doing videos regarding Trump in this particular speech. But this is just the beginning of troubles. It's just the beginning of sorrows for Jake. Because this is who they're going to come on, right? They came down on the Northern Kingdom, deported a lot of the Northern Kingdom, they arrested them, threw them in concentration camps.
Now we fully understand 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16. He's not going to stop. His focus is on the Israelites. He has no problem with the Arabs. Do they have these ICE agents grabbing up? And I'm pretty sure you got Arabs, which... When I say Arab, I'm talking about that group of people from the Middle East, from the Levant, those areas, Morocco, and certain parts of different. You got Africans, Moabites, Chinese. They're not saying we got to get those illegal Chinese out of here. We got to get rid of the Arabs. The Arabs are not a threat to them. It used to be. Have you ever heard of a thing called a cell, a terrorist cell? Couldn't they be all terrorist cells? So he has no problem with that. His focus is on Jake. He's doing what he did when he was Nero 2,000 years ago. That's motherfucking Nero. And you heard it first at GMF. You heard it first from me, Apostle Tahar. But it came from GMS. You heard the mark of the beast being a microchip. You heard it first at GMS. So don't let no Israelites see. I always knew. I said they might throw a microchip in there. Ain't no might in prophecy. Like saying the Russians might shoot off the missiles. The Russians ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna shoot off the missiles. There ain't no fucking might. They might. No, they are gonna give the world a chip. Not no fucking might. So don't change up and say I did say that. If you listen to me closely, oh morons.
Don't hear nothing about it in the news no more. They ain't talking about it. Now this man got his eyes set on the Southern Kingdom, and this is how it always ruled. Now,
and we said that some months ago. 4 months ago, we said they're gonna get videos. They're gonna come get Jake next.
It's not for no reason. It's not for no reason at all, because what's really happening is the Lord Yahweh Bashan Shah is bringing judgment. Right? The scripture says this in the book of I believe it's 2 Peter's. Okay, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them be that obey not the gospel of the Heavenly Father? In the NLT it says, for the time has come for judgment, and it must begin with the Most High's household. And if judgment begins with us, what terrible fate awaits those who have never obeyed the Most High's good news, right? So all those that know that the Israelites, the pain coming too. right? But it's going to start first with us, but where it's going to be in that is with those that don't believe, that never obey. It's going to be terrible with them, right? And it says, and also, if the righteous are barely saved, what will happen to the godless sinners? Well, they're going to be destroyed. They're going to be caught up and swept up in Nero's anger, which is really the anger of the Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, right? Because a lot of people looking at it like it's Trump bringing this. No, this is the judgment of the Heavenly Father. He wrapping his show up, right? The wicked, which is, let me see, right? This is the book of Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right? And the wicked is the so-called white man, right? Starting with the banking elites, and you got Trump. He's the Edomite. He's the king of Babylon. He's that cruel lord. In the NLT it says, arise, O Yahweh, Bashmi Al-Shai, stand against them and bring them to their knees. Rescue me from the wicked with your sword, right? Which really is better in the KJV, because Esau is the sword of the Lord, right? Esau is he's the whooping stick. This is why we went through chattel slavery. This is why we went through the colonization of the Americas and all the atrocities that followed after that, right? It's for judgment, and this man is going to come down with great wrath. You know, they making it out, which a lot of you jakes are wild animals, rogue brute beasts running through the neighborhoods, stealing.
Yeah, the scriptures written in code. Like, I'm gonna give you a couple of precepts. Revelation, where the hell is this? I gotta find it right here. Bring this over here, slide this over. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. Revelation 12. I'm gonna look for the word flood. This is King James. Flood. Okay. And the serpent, which is Esau, cast out of his mouth water as a flood over the woman, and that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. The flood represents the armies, 70 AD, and it's representing now, and it goes back through history. The flood, when they overwhelm you, a flood overwhelms you. So the flood is going to be these the Romans, which are Esau today, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. The dragon represents the Roman Empire. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of a seed. Let's talk happened back then, 70 AD. And the other revolts, even the one in 66, when Nero was alive, he sent out his generals, Vespasian and his son Titus, to quell it. And ultimately, after he died, like I said, and go into the history. Okay, this is all history. Vespasian or Titus finished the job. It says, which keep the commandments of the Most High, the Israelites, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Those are Christians. You got ones that keep the commandments. Those are the Jews. It says, keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Those are Christians. Vocab is not a Christian. These Jake that say that they're Christian, they're not. We're the real Christians. So when they come up talking about let's say, first of all, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian. The only way you can qualify to being a Christian, you have to be an Israelite first, then you have to believe in Messiah. Then you got to believe in the Messiah that came in the flesh. He didn't come down as a so-called white man. This is why we don't tolerate Christians, all right? So you got flood, right? Now let me go to Daniel 11. Daniel 11. I believe the word is flood there too. Flood. Okay, one time. Flood. And with the arms of a flood, the arms, military might of a flood, they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. That represents the armies. There's another one. Let me see. Oh, Job. That's another one. Job 30. I believe the word there is waters. Okay, it's there one time. Let me see. This is the key verse. Okay, that's 14. Verse. Okay, well. Okay, good. It's in the 15th verse. I'll start at 12. Upon my right hand rise the youth. They push away my feet. And they rise up against me the ways of their destruction. That's talking about Esau. This is a vision of, this is parabolic and visionary, prophetic in a poetic way. Job is talking about how Esau was going to take over the Israelites. Not just in one time, 70 AD, this time, various different times how the enemy overcame us. It said they mar or cut my path. They set forward my calamity. They have no helper. They don't need nobody. They got them Edomites coming together, right? They don't need no help. They came upon me as a wide breaking of waters. Another word for that is a flood. Go back to Revelation 12, the last two verses. The dragon opened up his mouth as a flood, and the earth helped the woman. In the desolation, they rolled themselves upon me or over me. When armies come in, they override you. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul as the wind. And my welfare passeth away as a cloud. My welfare represents what? You being taken care of. Remember, when you go back to Revelation 12, it said, and I'll read that too. It says, fed from the dragon, and not too many words. Section 8, the welfare, the food stamps, the grants. You notice Trump is stopping all that because there's gonna come an end to that, right? I gotta find. Let me do this welfare. Let's look up the word welfare. Welfare saves you from getting evicted, right? The word is Yashawai. Yashai. Salvation, deliverance, prosperity, to you're doing good, welfare, food stamps, deliverance, salvation, right? Help. You're getting help from the government, Medicaid, Medicare. If they were to cut all that stuff, all that federal money, state money, or whatever, if they were just to cut it, Jacob be in trouble. Jacob be in trouble. And Esau too. Everybody be in trouble. So what keeps this wicked Babylon propped up? The fact that this government is so rich that they can help people. Everything is done by grants. This kingdom is out of control. It's just back in the ancient world, you lived on a farm or whatever, you lived on your land and you were self-preserved, right? The farmers, they need grants from the government, man. Federal government is no longer here, everybody dies. Let me come back to Revelation. Let me come back to Revelation 12 one more again. And see, you're going to get welfare, but you're going to have to get a microchip to get it. So we're going to be missing, I'm going to be missing some meals. I might get my head chopped off, but that's all right too. Let me see, serpent. Let me put in the word serpent. Okay, it's there 3 times. Let me just read the 3 times. And the great dragon was cast out, and called the devil and Satan, and the earth and the whole earth, and they cast out the earth, and the angels were cast out with him, his angels. That's that battle up in the sky and partially in space. They're gonna have their fighter jets fighting the angels, because that's what they're talking about in Congress. Let me start from the 13th verse, Revelation 12, verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And to the men were given 2 wings of a great eagle, and to the woman, which is Israelite, that she might fly into the wilderness, that's Africa, into her place, which is America. That's also in Micah 4, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Welfare, food stamps, Section 8, grants, Medicaid, Medicare. And the serpent cast out of his mouth of water as a flood. But let me come back over here. And to the woman were given 2 wings in a cast a place. That's Hosea 1:10. Also says place, and the place where it says, "Ye are not my people, ye are the people of the Son of the living power," where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time, meaning you're nourished by the serpent for a certain amount of time. When that time stops, they're gonna cut everything. Guess what? We're in the fulfillment of that thing being stopped. That's one of the first things he said. I'm cutting all these grants, Medicaid, food stamps, and even these MAGA people, they're suffering from it. They put them in office, but now they that's called buyer's remorse. They never should have voted him, but it's part of a system. No matter who went up in there, Kamala went up there, the same thing would have happened. Kamala's just a puppet, just like he's a puppet. He's just a front man. You go to McDonald's, your fries are cold. You don't say, "I want to talk to Ronald McDonald." Ronald McDonald is a front man, which he don't even exist no more. So anyway, let's come back over here. Listen to a little bit more. So that's Nero. Ain't no other camp gonna teach he's Nero, because you know why? Because we'll say, "See, where you get that from?" Watch, these other camps, we always knew that there was a mark of the beast. No, we used to teach it. We used to teach it in our private classes. You didn't teach shit. You didn't do shit.
Right? Killing, destroying, being a nuisance, right? Defiling every damn thing you touch. Okay? Not saying that Esau's any better, but when he talked about going to the slums and getting rid of the slums, he talking about where you Jakes live at. When he talked about, he said,
those are all code words. That's all code.
You spit in their face, you spit, they gonna hit. He talking about you Jakes. Standing up there claiming to protest and all this other shit. Even though you got agent provocateurs amongst all of that, this man, his goal, his aim is to clean up. And I just saw a video of this one Jake, he had spoke on it. He said that, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this is the video right here. It says y'all gave him an excuse. And what was that excuse? Right? Y'all gave him an excuse to ride on you, to destroy you. Right? He talking about taking back his cities, starting with the capital. Right? They're gonna get rid of you, Jace. Let me play this real quick.
As a church motion. I came all the way down, man, down the city as quiet as a church motion. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. It's so peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, yeah. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here.
And where they putting the homeless? We don't even know where they're going. Maybe they're killing them, chopping them up, and making them biscuits for y'all niggas. There was a movie came out called Soylent Green where we were taking the people and making them into biscuits and giving them to the other people to eat.
You see now I'm at the White House, man. It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah. Because that's what it feels like, yeah. You gotta be babysitter to do your job, yeah.
Well, that's Jake. They need a shepherd, right? To act right, right? Because Jake is going to naturally rebel against order, right? And Jake is being riled up as the reason for all the things that's bad in the world, all the things that's bad in America. They're blaming it on you Israelites, right? They're not blaming it on the lack of funding. They're not blaming it on the lack of
Yeah, he said they're blaming it on you. They're blaming it on Jake. Well, Nero did that. Let me do this. The fire at Rome was blamed on the Christian. The fire. Okay, see, it says the great. It said fight right here. Yes, following the great fire of Rome in 64 A.D., Emperor Nero infamously blamed Christians for the devastation, leading to widespread persecution, while contemporary historians dispute Nero's role in starting the fire. They generally agree that he used the Christians as scapegoats. Remember, the Christians are the Israelites that accepted the Messiah, not some white man that I'm into Christianity. I was born, my parents were preachers or whatever. Christianity actually means Israelite back in that time. Actually means Israelites that happen to believe and follow the Messiah. That's all that means. It's not a religion. You can't be Chinese and be a Christian. Christians use the Christians as scapegoats to deflect blame and quell public anger, to get the people to get mad at them, so the people can be behind him. If you can't see that this is Nero, you don't have, your spiritual eyes are not open. You don't have spiritual eyes. Let me look at this. From the days of John the Baptist until now, Matthew 11, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. The kingdom of heaven is who? The Israelites in Palestine. And the violent ones take it by force. So who are the violent ones? The kingdom of heaven suffered violence at the hands of who? The Roman armies. And the violent and from the time of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, the Romans, and the violent, the Romans, take it by force, made Palestine a province of the Roman Empire. That's why they had to pay tribute. I believe that's in Luke 2, where Joseph had to go and was it Judea? No, he had to go to Bethlehem. Or he had to save from Bethlehem. I'll probably read that. I went through this the other day. And they had a census. The census was for you to pay taxes. It says what problems were Christians blamed for within the Roman Empire? Let me go to that one. This is Rome all over again. Everything is reincarnated. Consequently, the Roman state and the members of the civic society routinely punish Israelites that believe in the Messiah for treason, various rumored crimes. Remember how fast they jumped on that thing that happened in New Jersey? The guy supposedly shot up some people, and everybody in the news was talking about those black Hebrew Israelites. We're not ignorant as to your devices. Illegal assembly. What is it? Wait a minute. Illegal assembly means when you go set up the camps and speak. They're going to make it where you can't go out and speak no more. And for introducing an alien cult. An alien cult. Mean it's new cult. That's why we got to get together. The Christians got to get together. We're going to have classes to show you how to deal with Israelites when they ask you this question, because they're trying to quell or suppress this whole Israel thing. Because the elite know that when this gospel, matter of fact, Matthew 24, this gospel be preached throughout the whole planet or the whole world, the end shall come, right? So guess what? Who does the heavy lifting for us? Showed you that Bishop Nate is a dimwit. You got to go to every place on the planet Earth, and you got to go face to face with every Israelite. If there's 4 billion of them, you got to hit every 4 billion of them. You dumbass. You fucking retard. That's why his stupid ass went with his zombies, went out there to Nairobi, Kenya, and they got chased down the. Some of them could have got killed. Dummy. It said that drove many Roman people to the apostasy in favor of the Messiah. Give me a second. Who is blamed for the fall of Rome? The fall of the Roman Empire was not caused by a single event or individual, but rather a complex interplay of internal and external factors that weaken the empire over time. Eternal pressures like barbarian invasions. A lot of these were Jakes. Paul referred to some of the Israelites as barbarians and Scythians. The Scythians, if I'm saying it right, they founded Russia. Jake founded Russia in about circa 865 AD or CE, current what is it? The current era, right? And internal issues such as economic decline, the Romans were losing money, political instability, and ain't nobody want to vote for no. They don't. Hey, the Democrats don't want to vote for no Democrat, but this next election, which I don't even think is going to happen, not too many people want to vote because they don't believe in the democratic system. You had somebody that was half asleep, walking around aimlessly. Then you got a madman now. A military decay because they weren't paying the troops. All contributed to the empire's eventual collapse. That's when Jake took over. Let's come back over here.
Opportunity. They're not blaming it on a lack of. They're not blaming it on the bureaucracies of the Capitol Hill. None of that. They blaming it on Jake. And it ain't like these Edomites live a better life, because these are the most, in Washington D.C., they're the most wickedest Edomites on the planet Earth, man. They're staunch, stone cold Satanists. But see, they do their wickedness behind closed doors while they put Jake on blast for their evil out in front.
Yeah, you notice these Christians are not coming against America. They're not saying, let's go to Washington, D.C., because you're not doing the right thing. We're supposed to be a Christian nation. They're not telling them to keep the Sabbath, which they believe is a Sunday Sabbath. Vocab ain't coming. He ain't got nothing wrong to say about local government or federal government. He'll never criticize. But in this society, they're not following the Most High's laws. I remember as a child, you had blue laws. Blue laws meant that everything was. I remember on Sundays everything was closed. Everything was closed. This is before the supermarkets. Supermarkets it came about in the mid to late 60s. When you went to do shopping, you had to go to the baker, then you had to go to the meat market, then you had to they deliver you milk, then you had to go to, you got cheese from this guy, you got flour from that person. Then somebody came up with probably a small hat to bring all these different things together into one store, one-stop shopping. And what did I say I was going to do? The blue laws. The blue laws in the United States. Blue laws, also known as Sunday closing laws or Sabbath laws. And I believe, if not the whole state of New Jersey, I know parts of New Jersey where everything is closed. Most things are closed. And like I said, back when they had the blue laws in New York, everything was closed. Nothing was open. Because that was the day that you were supposed to worship. But it was on a Sunday. Everybody was going to church back then. People were a lot more decent back during that time. Jake used to actually marry women, and they would have a family. They would stick together. These sisters today are completely out of control. That's why I said, let me bump into some Edomite that's shaped like a Jake woman, and I'll be taking her home. But I'll let her know she's a concubine. That's it. You can have concubines in this kingdom, but you got to be careful. It's a blue laws, also known as. And if you know what, if we started getting Edomites as concubines, and that's a big thing in all the GMS camps, the brothers all had concubine Edomite women, different nations. Guess what? Them other tribes will start doing it. Ain't nothing happened. The Most High ain't killing them guys, so it must not be that bad. You know? It says our state statutes or local ordinances that restrict or forbid certain activities, often on Sunday or religious holidays, in order to encourage religious observance. I'm going to say it again. Everything was, when I was a kid, everything was, if you go to shop, you better get it on a Friday or Saturday, because Sunday, you ain't getting nothing. I think the only thing you can do is get the paper, and they deliver you the paper to you. It says, historically, these laws aim to uphold the Christian Sabbath. But, and I can show them that the Sunday Sabbath is not biblical at all, because they don't understand the scriptures. But they have faced challenges due to their potential conflict with the First Amendment, because you had the ACLU and these other, which are small hats. They were the one that destroyed so-called Christianity. Establishment clause and concerns about religious freedom. Like, well, wait a minute. 25% of the people in the U.S. don't believe in God or whatever. So that's what opened up these different stores. I remember when the liquor stores were closed on Sundays. Then they opened the liquor store on Sundays, but you had to pick a day to close it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Then what wound up happening? Liquor stores are open every 7 days a week. So how can these people be a God-fearing nation when they don't even follow the Sabbath? And the penalty for the Sabbath is you can be put to death. So the Most High getting ready to take this motherfucker out by fire. The old world, he did it by water. He's going to do it by fire now. And the average person that you see, they don't know what's going on. They're like roaches walking around. You know, you see a roach somewhere, walking to your bathroom, you stomp it. You stomp that motherfucker, you know? And you don't feel bad for that fucking roach. If I see a roach, I stomp on it, I say, nigga, you don't pay rent here, so you got to go. Just come on back. And this is not the best time to be leaving this truth. This is not the best time to be putting your interest into other things. This is not the best time to be turning your back on the plow. You came this far, and then you're at the finish line. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to turn back? I'm not going to try to save you. Go ahead and do what you got to do. What is that? Revelation 22. If they be filthy, let them be filthy still.
It ain't like these Edomites are upstanding. But see, Jake needs somebody to sit in a class. Like, you know, like if you did something when you were a kid, your parents showed up, and like, yo, they keep calling on you, and he got the answer. Like, you've been talking in class, being a nuisance, disrupting the class and the education, and then your father or your mother got to come there to sit with you to get you to act right. Well, it's the same way what's going on now. The Lord using this authority figure, the stick, right, that sword, to get you Jakes in line. And it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. I mean, this man, he hates the homeless, he hates the poor, or whatever. Which hates the poor? So they what? They talking about grabbing them up, throwing them in concentration camps somewhere. If they don't take the rehabilitation or whatever they call it, they gonna get rid of you. And this is just the beginning, man.
Control for years. Yeah. You gotta be babysitter to do your job, yeah. Stuff been out of control for years.
And that was done on purpose, so that they can bring this wrath. They let things get to a certain point, so they can bring down the wrath that they plan to bring. See, they have the agenda behind all of this.
Hey, feminism caused all that. Feminism caused all that. When the Jake man was in the household, I remember as a child, you didn't have these gangs. First of all, the gangs started in the late 60s, early 70s, and it wasn't throughout the country. You know what made gangs go throughout the country? The movie, what's the goddamn movie? Not Colors. Warriors. There was no gang. When that movie came out, then gangs started forming all over the country. You go out to the West, you didn't have gangbangers out there, man. You got gangbangers, and that started from that predictive programming, man, and influenced by way of movies. You push out movies that it's all right. Oh, Sex in the City, that was pushing out being harlots. That's what pushed that stuff out. And who's behind that? The small hats. So they did it. I remember as a child, you had young men that were respectable men. It's rare that you see this wild shit happening like you see today. So guess what? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to have to close the show. He can't rehabilitate you. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is the Mr. Sims on high. What did Mr. Sims say in the movie Tales from the Hood, the first one? He said, can you rehabilitate these niggas? He said, no, you just kill them. And that's what the Most High is going to do. The Mr. Sims funeral home on high is going to just kill him. If you haven't seen that movie, great movie, Spike Lee joint, great movie. See the movie, right? The three, street niggas, YNs, drug dealers, whatever. They went to the funeral home to get drug, whatever the whole thing is. At the end of the movie, spoiler alert if you didn't see it, they opened up the coffin. There was three of them niggas dead. And they were looking at their dead bodies. Then he said, this ain't no funeral home. And this ain't the Terror Dome either. He said, welcome to hell, motherfuckers. All of a sudden, everything turned to hellfire. The nigga woman dancing in the fire. She ain't in pain. She ain't burnt. And these niggas are all terrified, man. And they showed you, hey, Mr. Sims from on high is going to get your ass. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit more. And you women, this crop of women on this planet, the Most High going to get rid of all of y'all. He don't need none of y'all. He can create women. He can create women, perfect women. He can save certain women. You can go to other look. We can go. The Most High can drop all these Jake women in America, beam up the men, which he's not going to do. He's going to beam up the women and children, but he can just beam up the Israelite men, and you can go to some other country. You can go to let's say Europe or whatever, or China or wherever you go, and you take them women, and you build back the nations. We don't need the black woman. You are not the fucking prize, bitch. You ain't the prize. The men are the prize. Why do you think Edomite women are fantasizing and they getting with Jake? They getting with Jake. And when in school years, there was always a handful of Edomite women that used to like me. Particularly the school I went to, them motherfuckers, Jake didn't like the fact that you deal with white. I better not see you with a white woman. Or the white kids, I better not see you with no black man. So it was encouraged at the school that I came up in. You didn't see that shit, But them Edomite women, they let you know. They'll let you know. They like Jake. That was back when I was in high school and elementary school. But now it's big. These Edomite women will become fucking slaves for the so-called black man. Why? Because Esau's government sees that shit and they mad as hell. We know that you're losing your kingdom when guess what? When your woman no longer wants to be with you. They want to be with the enemy.
But really, just the wrath of the Heavenly Father who allowed it. Because he let you do your wickedness.
That's a parameter to who the true gods are. We are gods. Vocab Malone, these guys call themselves gods. Yes, we are gods. We are gods. And we are gods without our power. Our power is taken away. Most High gonna give the power back. Did not he take the power from Samson? Did not he give the power back to Samson? He felt that presence of the Most High in him, and he said, I'm going to sacrifice myself to kill as many. It had to be, I believe it was 3,000. Somebody help me out. Philistines, and he knew he was going to die, but he had the satisfaction of knowing that 3,000 of you motherfuckers are going to die with me. So that showed, and all he was doing was popping them Hamite women, man. And the Most High put a spirit. If I'm with an Edomite woman, somebody said, brother, you with an Edomite woman, you going off. What if I said, well, the Most High put the spirit on me to get with an Edomite woman? What you gonna say then? What you gonna say then? Because guess what? When you read the story of Samson, you read about how he desired to have a Philistine woman, and it said in the script, it says that the Most High put the spirit on him to desire Philistine women. For what reason? So he can go back and forth with the Philistine men. He was showing, look, I took your one. He took two of their women, because he had two women, and then he went to a brothel and popped another woman. Didn't say who she was. She probably was a Philistine woman. Most High didn't say you shouldn't be committing. That's prostitution, brother. You shouldn't be doing that. Niggas, like I said, when you get into these scriptures, you got to leave the emotions at home. To this day, you got these certain Israelite groups talking about us, the great thing. And we already broke it down. And for you that can't see it, you can't see it because Yahweh by Shem Yahushai haven't opened up your head, your mind, your eyes, your spiritual eyes.
Until he judges. And judgment is coming.
Judgment. Ooh, I didn't know he was going to say that. I was going to say judgment is coming, and he said it as I said. That's power right there. Let me bring that back. You heard me say it, right?
Because he let you do your wickedness until he judges. And judgment is coming, bro.
And I said it right. I said judgment, and that's the spirit. That's the spirit. And judgment is coming. That's a topic. That's a topic right there. And judgment is coming.
It's going to be a terrible year. And then we talking about going into what we got 4 more months left in 2025. And it's only going to progressively get worse.
Oh, it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot in 2026. Most High going to turn that faucet up full blast. We might be out of here in 2026. Let's just hope that they push the microchip. When they push the microchip, the mark of the beast, the MOTB, then we know we got months. Could be 4 months from now. We'll be destruction come, the kingdom will come.
For Jake, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the tribes.
And like I remember, King Marshall said, "Don't get happy, because when the missiles come, we go in the wilderness. It ain't gonna be easy. We're gonna be working out there too." And I remember my mind saying, "I don't know what the hell King Mo was talking about." I said, "I ain't gonna be doing no fucking work." I said, "When I get into them, if Most High will, I get into them ships and I'm changed. I ain't lifting up a finger to do nothing. I'm gonna have my slaves do every fucking thing. You gonna have to dig holes and chop down. No, I ain't doing shit. I ain't doing shit but giving orders."
You gotta do better, young. You gotta do better, young. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, young.
Well, he doesn't know. He doesn't know that this is all set up this way. The scriptures speak about Jake surpassing the deeds of the wicked. So the Most High made us that way.
We'll see how long this lasts, young. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night? Talk to me. And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, yeah. Let me tell you something, yeah. Let me tell you something. You can't be that stupid. You can't be, man. Who enters that information to get that data analysis, yeah? People do. You can enter whatever numbers you want to make whatever report show what, but you can't hide the crime, yeah? You can't do it. Let me give you something to break it down to you for those that don't understand. I retired from UPS, right? So what they used to do to play with the numbers or whatever, we had mission packages, you had drivers over the hours. They'd go in and enter the information and the report would show whatever they needed to show to keep their bonus that week for their bosses not to fire their ass. So stop believing that stuff. And I don't know if you ever had to deal with the DC government, young, but they suck, young. They have got a lot more better now that the officers have did what they had to do and got all of these people out of the government and got rid of the riffraff and things of that nature. People actually do work now. Let me give you this for example, right? You got carry and conceals or whatever that were being issued by the DC separate department that was handling the gun license and the things of that nature. They went from turnaround time for like 4 months, 5 months for you to have to get a gun registered in DC and get a carry and conceal to 2 weeks. It used to take you 3 months just to get a
Yeah, well, it's the bureaucracies, and then, again, that's why all this crime is where it's at. So going back to Trump.
Check this out. Zach would have.
You see this nigga right here? This you put a Jake like that to death. You put him to sleep. Put him on ice.
It used to take you 3 months just to get a.
Yeah, well, it's the bureaucracies, and then, again, that's why all this crime is where it's at. So going back to Trump.
Check this out. Zach would have.
See, you gotta turn his lights off, man. You gotta put Poodle in the back. You gotta turn his lights off. You gotta turn this nigga's lights off.
They died.
I have great fun. That's all.
A family.
I don't like being up here.
Yeah, going back to Trump, you know, this thing it's always Jake's fault, man. Right? Everything is turning its corner because the scripture says this in the book of Revelation 12:12. Because this man knows his time is short. So he's trying to do whatever he can to hold on to his last vestiges of power. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And the NLT it says, therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens. Rejoice, but terror will come on the earth and the sea. For the devil, which is Esau, Edom, has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has a little time. So this man, this is just the beginning of that great anger, right? This man has always oppressed us, always destroyed us, always kept us under his thumb. And now that he's about to lose power, he's going to come down with great wrath, right? Which is still the wrath of Yahweh Shai Shai. It's the judgment, and it ain't going to take every Israelite, because the elect going to be saved out of this. This is the book of Jeremiah 30:7, right? And it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it," man, right? And the NLT says, "In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel. Yet in the end, they will be saved." And the day that's going to be saved is the elect of Israel.
Now, you know what I want to do? I wanted to do that. I wanted to go to this NLT, but he beat me to it. But this is what I'm going to do in the NLT. Daniel 12. Okay, NLT, I'm sorry, NLT. I may read in a couple other, maybe in the AMP, NLT. At that time, Michael, the archangel, who stands guard over your nation, which are the Israelites, will arise. Yahweh Shai is going to be in front of him. And this time is talking about the same time that Revelation 12 takes place. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. So it's going to get worse out here. But at that time, every one of your people, which are the elect, whose name is written in the book, will be rescued. That means the elect. It's not talking about all. Just because you're an Israelite doesn't mean you're going to make it. That's another topic right there. AMP. Let's see what AMP says. Now at that time, I'm sorry, now at that end time, Michael, the great angelic prince, who stands guard over the children of your people, the Israelites, will arise, and there will be a time of distress such as never occurred since there was a nation until that time. But at that time, your people, the Israelites, everyone who is found written in the book of life, will be rescued. That's the elect among Israel. That's how you know that all Israel is not going to be saved. Going a little bit long, but that, hey, stick with me.
Lord willing, with some of those men and women are going to be saved out of this terror that's coming. It's going to be worse than anything that we ever had to face in this country or any other captivity, because it's going to be a free-for-all, bro. It's going to be a free-for-all with this devil, but the Lord's going to save the elect out of it. And so that was in Shalom, and on to the next.
Anyway, I'm going to say Shalom. I'm sorry, wrong